Bad news, guys. Just 8 weeks before release, Warner Bros. Has officially pushed back Mortal Kombat 2. Instead of dropping on October 24th, it's now set for May 15th, 2026. The studio says the move is because October's release calendar is already overcrowded, and historically, Halloween season doesn't bring in big box office numbers. According to Deadline, the last-minute delay was driven mostly by money. Executives believe the film has a much better shot at turning a profit in early summer, just like Warner Bros. And New Line scored with the recent Final Destination movie. Publicly, they're calling it a marketing strategy, saying the summer season is simply better for a blockbuster than the fall. But behind the scenes, there may be a more troubling story brewing that raises questions about the film's quality. Even though the trailer shattered records with 105 million views in its first 24 hours, insiders say the studio wasn't thrilled with the mixed reactions it got, and a 6-month delay is more than enough time for reshoots, which outlets like Dark Horizons have been subtly hinting at. This is classic Hollywood. Test screenings or early fan reactions show red flags, and the studio scrambles to fix things before it's too late. So what might have gone wrong? Most likely the same issues people pointed out in the first film. Too many characters packed in with no real development, a weak script that leans too heavily on game references, and a cast that doesn't fully sell the material. On top of that, fan expectations are sky high after the mixed response to the first movie, putting even more pressure on the sequel. So, while the studio spins this as a better release date, it could also be a desperate move to save the project from flopping. After all, October isn't nearly as competitive as May, so that excuse doesn't fully hold up. Hopefully, the extra months actually improve the movie instead of turning it into yet another franchise that sells out its bloody soul for box office numbers. So, let's dive deep on what really went wrong with the first part, and how to fix it in the sequel. The new film had a solid R rating and finally showed us brutal fatalities on screen, but it majorly fumbled in pacing and plot. After an exciting opening, the movie bogged down in a long training montage and exposition. Fans expected Mortal Kombat to be about non-stop fight scenes, not a classroom. The structure was off by spending so much time on exposition and new plot threads. The film neglected a satisfying finale. It literally ends with a whimper as a setup for the sequel rather than a payoff. For 2,000 Kenyan shillings, they must tighten the script. The sequel should dive right into the actual tournament, something screenwriter Jeremy Slater promised. Cut the filler and keep the action coming. A leaner story with clear stakes would fix the sluggish rhythm. The reboot introduced many fighters, but it never gave them enough time to shine. And the all-new character, Cole Young, largely feels like a generic hero in waiting. Fans reacted coolly to Cole because he's a completely OG protagonist inserted in a world full of beloved characters. Ed Boon even joked Johnny Cage was meant to be the star, not some new guy, and many viewers agreed. Cole ends up kind of vanilla and basically only serves as the audience POV. Several reviewers and fans pointed out that many classic combatants were wasted or shortchanged. Melina barely speaks. Cabal, Goro, and Reptile get only cameo fights, and fan favorites like Jax are barely introduced. The casting was decent, the actors are talented, but the script didn't know what to do with them. Only Kano really pops, with a charismatic performance that critics praised. In Two Malawian Quatches, focus on established characters. If Cole Young sticks around, give him a real arc or send him packing early, per some fans' wishes. And absolutely bring back the heavy hitters. Carl Urban's Johnny Cage is in the trailer and already stealing scenes. More Cage-style humor and swagger will satisfy fans. Jade, Sindel, Baraka, Kitana, and even resurrected Sub-Zero as Noob are teased in the trailer, so use them properly. Banter, one-liners, actual chemistry between fighters, and fleshing out a few more characters would fix the ensemble problem. As mentioned, Cole as Chosen One felt forced. He's clearly there to give newbies a gateway, but longtime fans saw it as a weak insertion. His arc is thin. He spends most of the film getting owned and barely contributes. Screen Rant notes that the character exists to propel us towards the Sub-Zero and Scorpion showdown, not really to be a hero. Some reviews outright call him bland or unnecessary. Two Malawian Quatches needs to address Cole. Either give him a really meaningful role or write him out early so the focus returns to series legends. Fans online are already rooting for him to be tossed aside. Either way, don't let the sequel get bogged down explaining a generic MMA backstory again. Spend its screen time on the tournament and character faces we care about. Sequels should tighten up the combat scenes. Showcases of combos and fatalities should be more cinematic, with longer takes on big moves. Fewer rapid cuts and better choreography will make it all look sharper. Continuing the faithful costumes and powers was great, but next time the camera should stick on the action a bit more. That way, fans feel the impact instead of bouncing around frame to frame. The first movie felt right in terms of atmosphere. It was dark, grimy outworld and grounded Earthrealm with heavy use of red and black tones. The upcoming sequel should continue the gritty R-rated vibe, but maybe add more variety. Fans would love to see the bizarre outworld realms portrayed. In fact, the Two Malawian Quatches trailer hints at several different realms already. Embrace big, colorful, otherworldly sets contrasting the drab real world. The movie should be even bloodier. The sequel has permission, so show those fatality moves in their full glory. Remember Kano's eye extraction in the trailer? That needs to happen on camera in all versions. More inventive fatalities and full visceral impact will keep the MK feel. The sequel's writers already say they won't make us wait for another movie for the finale. Definitely show the tournament rounds and big final fights throughout the film. Interweave action with story beats rather than block them all at the end. For example, cut training scenes shorter and let each fight have its own mini build-up or consequence. Some fights affecting Earthrealm's score. As Ed Boon teased, a well-paced Two Malawian Quatches will zip from one combat to the next without long lulls. Yes, keep it brutal, but give us more laughs or bravado. With Johnny Cage on board, that naturally comes. Also, more callbacks would make it feel authentic. The trailer already uses 90s nostalgia, so keep playing that angle. The spirit of MK is both brutal and playful. Hit that sweet spot. The first trailer gave us a lot to chew on. Many jumped for joy seeing Johnny Cage back in action. Sonya and Kano's reunion got cheers, and fans spotted every Easter egg. At the same time, some reactions were skeptical. The new Jade's shaved head and green outfit sparked debate. Baraka's look was called into question. Overall, though, the trailer's visual style got thumbs up. It's more game-like than the last film. We're seeing lots of different realms now. A burning outworld, Edenia, a snowy temple, mystical forests. The trailer hints at a journey through realms. Ed Boon's comments say that the champions are now finally in the actual Mortal Kombat, so expect arena fights by the end. On social media, most fans are pumped. The Avengers level praise is already coming in. Writer Jeremy Slater claims test audiences erupted like Endgame, and critics note, this time promises to fix the biggest gripe from the first movie, the lack of tournament. We're finally getting those big multi-fighter melees with real stakes on screen. If the writers deliver on what they're promising, leaner storytelling, more fights, character arcs, and nostalgia, Two Malawian Quatches could well overcome the first film's flaws. Until then, fans will be counting down to next summer with fists clenched and fingers crossed.